Hello. I haven't done a video in a while, and it's July 16th, 2025, and it's tomorrow's Brett's birthday, 7/17, and he'll be 36, and he's been locked up since he was barely 15 years old for something he didn't do. And we're still fighting that conviction and his sentence, but right now we don't really have much going on. But I've been with him through all of this basically since he was 16 years old, and it's been a long 20 years. I don't even have any hair left. That's how long it's been. But yeah, so I started a new drug. The old one and her too. It was the Signatera was creeping up, very, very small amount, but it was creeping up. So my oncologist took me off that real fast and put me on this very, very similar drug, Trodelvy, I think it's called. Very similar, and kind of the thinking is that you go from one to the other real fast, and whatever the other one didn't do, this one does. So anyway, the first thing that happened was I lost all my hair. Didn't even know. I mean, I've been on so many of these drugs and never lost my hair. I lost a little bit on the last one, but mostly I didn't. And 2 weeks after this first infusion, it was gone. 2 weeks, gone. So I wasn't really prepared. So this is my U of I hat, my little beanie, and I don't know what to do. I was totally unprepared, and I don't know. I'm just not into this at all. I have a few hats and stuff, but so we'll see what happens. It's going to be a long time before my hair grows back. And, to think 5 years ago, I had hair all the way down my back, this is really hard for me. But the only thing is if this drug works, I'm okay with it. But if it doesn't work, I've lost my hair for nothing, and we don't really know if it's working yet, because I only had one round. This is my second round tomorrow. I mean Friday. So he wanted to at least do two rounds before he did the Signatera to see if that microscopic cancer cells are gone or not, or at least stable where they were before, not going up. So we'll see. That is probably in my inbox now because he took it. He took the blood last time I was there on last Friday. So it only takes about a week. So, and with this drug, you go every 8 days. You get an infusion, and then or get one infusion, then the next week you get another, and then you're off a week. So I guess you could say 2 infusions and then a week off, so every 3 weeks basically you're having one. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just so I don't know, but I'm just hoping that it's working, and it'll work for a year. The other drug worked for about 9 months, and so that's okay. I bought myself 9 months, and if I can buy myself another year on this one, hopefully that'll get me closer to some kind of cure. There's a lot of stuff in the works right now, vaccines and different things but now with Trump firing all these people working at these NIH and stuff, it might take longer to get these drugs through the system and approved. I don't know yet. We'll see. Firing a lot of people can make things take a lot longer. Not that the research is going to stop, because these are trials and things already in the works that I don't think he can do anything about. Um, but he can make it it can be very difficult to get the approval for these drugs if there's no employees to do it. You get in line. And there's people's lives at stake. People with metastatic cancer like me, our lives are at stake. And children, little kids with brain tumors and things like that, where there's a lot of research being done and cures around the corner. That was the whole point of Moonshot 2020 that Biden invested in, was these cures are right around the corner. And now, because of Trump, this sick man, this sick psychotic person, who seems to be pro-disease or pro-suffering and just a masochist, a sadist, thinks it's good for people to suffer. And with these diseases, apparently, put the funding, stop some of the funding, canceled some of the grants, and then really basically just fired a lot of people at the NIH and the NCI, National Cancer Institute. So it's really, I think it's going to affect some of this stuff, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I know that the breast cancer vaccines I've been tracking are all in the works, and one major one is is in clinical trials at Cleveland Clinic, and it's being funded by the Department of Defense breast cancer, their breast cancer section of the Department of Defense. Millions of dollars they put towards this cure. So they were funding some of it, and they were paying Cleveland Clinic to do these trials. So supposedly that's still intact, and they'll be finishing these trials up at the end of I think it's the end of 2026. They're supposed to have that vaccine ready for approval, which obviously that's another year and a half. So these drugs have to keep working for me for a while. And of course that's just one of the vaccines I know about. There's a lot of stuff going on, so some of them might be further along, but like I say, getting it approved through the FDA with half the employees is what's going to take time. So and I'm okay. Like the side effects on this drug are pretty much similar to the last one. Nothing, in fact, better. I feel better than I did on that last drug, actually, overall, except for the hair and then some kind of bad fatigue on about 2 days. So that's not bad at all. So, you can live your life and you can do the things you want. I went to Brookfield Zoo, spent the whole day there with my granddaughter and my daughters, and we had a great time. And, I had just had an infusion the day before. So, this is what you want to do. You just want to live your life like anybody else that has any other kind of disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever people have. You just take your medication and you just go, and that's what I've been doing. I was pretty tired on Monday. I have to say I had a lot of fatigue. I would not have been able to go to the zoo or watch Madeline, but it wasn't horrible. I wasn't in bed or anything like that. I just really was fatigued. My body felt very heavy, like I was just dragging, So I just kind of sat around and did things I could just sit and do. So it was okay. And I take my gummies. My gummies help a lot. They take a lot of that. They just kind of level you off and just give you that homeostasis. And I microdose, so I know exactly how much I can take and function fine, drive, do whatever I want. But you can feel that it's working to calm everything and make sure that you don't feel these side effects of these drugs. So it's great. And I got a lot of cancer people I know who we all tell each other which ones are good, and we give each other tips and try new ones, and so it's great to have that option, really is. And it's just so it just is. It's not like doing drugs at all. It's just so mild, and so you don't even feel it really until you realize, gosh, I've been really feeling good today. I don't have any of these side effects, and so it's subtle like that. And I think that's why people like the gummies. But anyway, what else? I think that's about it. I just feel so weird having no hair. Like, I just feel so weird wearing a hat in my house and stuff. I don't want to look at my bald head, and I don't want to go outside and have people gawking at me and, oh, she's got cancer. I mean, I hate that, so I'm just kind of at a loss for that right now. I guess eventually I'll just kind of say, all right, who cares, I got a lot of hats and scarves and different things, so I don't know. But up until now, I haven't really ever had anything that pointed at me having cancer or sticking out like a sore thumb or anything like that. So this is the first time I've experienced that. But so tomorrow's Brett's birthday, and of course he celebrates all month. So it's been a big celebration for him. He's had a lot of issues at this Wilkinson County. It's been terrible. It's been horrible. This place is just absolutely should be shut down. It is violent. It is gang infested, drug infested, dangerous, and I've really had to be there for him this month. And we tried to get him off into a different zone where he could be a caregiver for some of these elderly inmates. Why they're still there with no legs and stuff, because they diabetic, lost their legs. I mean, they couldn't commit a crime if you paid them $1 million, but they're still there for some reason. Can't get out. They got no parole eligibility or whatever it is. So anyway, they have all these guys sitting around in this zone, and Brett took a class where he could be a EMT. He took EMT training last fall, and this week he was able to get over to that zone and start learning how to be a caregiver for one of these diabetic guys and care for his port and thing. But then because they never changed him on the roster, right back to the zone where drugs, gangs, danger. So that's where he is right now. And like I even paid money to have him moved over to this caregiver zone, but they still put him back until, I guess, somebody decides whether it's official or not that he's there. So in the meantime, he's in a lot of danger over in this other zone, because he used to be affiliated a long time ago. He was a royal because he had to be, because he was thrown into prison when he was 15 years old and he needed protection. So he did have gang affiliation way back, and as you know, you never can get away from that. So now that he's where he is in this gang-infested, drug-infested zone, violent, they know he quit the gang years ago, and they don't like that. They don't like anyone that quit the gang. So he's been kind of a target, and it's dangerous, and it scares me, and I get really worried about him, what's happening. But I hope we can fix it, and there's a solution for this coming up, hopefully. But again, just he shouldn't even be here anymore. This is just insane that he's still locked up. And even Mississippi passed legislation last year, 20 years for juveniles, and they're parole eligible. But it wasn't retroactive. So he didn't get that benefit. So, and he's done 20 years. So it's just insane that we're still going through this bullshit. And I'm not sure what's going to happen. Um, someone was litigating that. One of the juveniles had a law firm that was litigating that. Like, that's not absolute. That seems unconstitutional. That going forward, 20 years is parole eligibility for juvenile lifers, but not anyone who was sentenced before 2024. So there's quite a few of them that are still in there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And what else? We did a video call today. I haven't seen Brett in a long time. I haven't seen him in a long time. And he's so cute. He's still so adorable. He's just still so cute, and he looks good. I'd say he looks good. He looks a little worn, a little torn, more scars on his face, more, just kind of rough around the edges, but he's just Brett. He's just adorable, and red hair still, and it just makes me sad, that this is still going on for him. And he's just really losing it because obviously he's seen me now with no hair. Before, he was like, oh yeah, she talks about cancer, but I can't even tell, she looks fine to me, and we don't talk about it much at all, and everything's good. But then when he saw this, he was like, damn, that's the woman that cares about me. That's the woman that's been here for me for 20 years. And the only one. Took him under my wing a long time ago. Taking care of him ever since. And when he sees that, it scares him. It just scares him. I try not to talk about how I'm sort of going from drug to drug. Hoping to get to the finish line. Just hoping to get to the finish line of the cure. And then when Trump came along and everything went the way it did, it freaked me out. Like, how could this be happening? So it's all been, but I try not to make him worry. But he wanted to do a video call really bad, and he hasn't seen me in a long time either. And so it's okay, let's just do it. Let's just get it over with. So he knows, and I try to put his mind at rest that everything's going to be okay, which I believe it is. I have great doctors. I have a great doctor. He knows what he's doing. He's a good doctor, and I have great insurance. So I have a pretty good chance, So we're just going to go from here and just keep going. Just write it out. Just write it out. As Jake would say, plow through. Even though he's done nothing for Brett, his lawyer. He knows he's innocent. He knows he's innocent. He's agreed with me that Brett was railroaded. And he knows the facts of the case. But he never did anything because he works for MacArthur Justice Center. And they're not allowed to fight convictions for individual people. They're only allowed to do the Miller stuff. And it was just always kind of blows my mind that he knows that Brett is innocent and doesn't do anything about it. And he's a lawyer. And they're friends. He visits Brett. They're friends. Like, how do you sleep at night? Because he knows. But he also knows that we went through the entire court system twice trying to get this thing overturned. And we did get it overturned in 2008. But Judge Gardner blocked it. So, and our lawyer didn't know what to do. She dropped the ball. So he knows all that, and he probably just figures, well, what can I do? And well, he could have taken up the federal appeals when he won the Greenwood case that gave Brett another chance to fight his conviction, but he didn't. He dropped it all in Brett's lap to do a habeas himself. pro se. So him and I did it instead of Jake, Harvard-educated lawyer. He didn't do it. He told Brett he should do it himself. Well, we lost that, obviously, so that's the way that went. So anyway, I'm glad I had a chance to do this little video, and everything's going to be okay. So happy birthday to Brett tomorrow.